I'm not a manager or a salesperson. How can I still earn good income? There's a few things. There's the slow and steady way. If you're disciplined with money and you make the right investments and you're patient over time and you don't leverage yourself, you can still get to a certain level of attainment by a certain age. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to actually learn the skills that you're afraid of. Sales is just about connecting with people and rerouting money. What do I mean by rerouting money? A lot of people believe that when I'm selling someone something, I'm making them spend money with me. That's not true. That person was going to spend money anyway. It's not new money. You're rerouting that money to you. So if someone says, hey, I'm going to pay $1,000, they were going to spend that $1,000 here or there or somewhere else, or maybe they were going to buy the same service you're offering, but with someone else, and you're rerouting that to you. So essentially, sales is about being able to solve someone's problem. And you're probably doing that every day to begin with. You just want to make sure you find a product or service that you believe in. So if you don't believe in solar panels, don't take a job selling solar. But there might be things you're more passionate about. If you're a health nut, which is not a bad thing, but let's say you're really into health and fitness, maybe you want to get into selling health and fitness services or coaching people. Coaching people isn't necessarily a sales job. You do need to go find clients, but maybe you have a network of people already that come to you for advice. Why not charge them for it? They're more likely to listen to it too. You got to pay money to pay attention. Free advice is never as strong as paid advice. If you don't believe me, try it. When someone asks you for advice, just give it to them for free, see if they listen. Next time they ask you for advice, charge them $500 and then see if they do it. You'll be shocked. Is financing a car a good idea? And what about getting a mortgage? Does it make sense? I guess that Dave Ramsey is more qualified than me for this, but if you can't get a car and you need a car, I think financing a car is worth it. Should you go finance a $150,000 car if you can't afford it? I think that's a terrible idea. But is financing a car a good idea? I don't see why not, especially if you don't have the capacity to buy it cash. Put as much money down as you can. Make sure you're getting a good interest rate and good terms. And make sure you're getting a good price. If you understand those things, you'll get a good number on the car anyway. And do what you need to do. As far as a mortgage, I'll tell you this. Instead of giving you a long speech, there's very few things in your life that you'll finance that goes up in value, except real estate. So if I was going to justify debt for anything, it would have to be real estate. So if you're going to get a mortgage, as long as you're getting something within your capacity to pay and you feel that's a good spot, go for it. What steps should I take to successfully transition from a job to starting my own business? That's a good one. So aside from, everyone talks about you should have maybe 6 months of money off to the side. That's one part, but what you should have is a plan. You should have a whole marketing strategy. You should have projections. You should have tentative customers. Maybe you should start putting in orders in or selling some stuff for that business leading up to. So like, for example, if I'm gonna open up my own business, I'm leaving my job and I make $100,000 on my job, it may not be a bad idea to get my business up to like maybe 60 grand a year, 70 grand a year before I leave that job and have reserves. So that means that as I'm making money with that business in preparation to leave my job, I'm putting that money that I'm earning in a separate fund because it's going to need to subsidize my lifestyle for the next couple of months as I launch it. So I'd make sure you have a very good transition strategy. Cold turkey, look, there's a lot of businesses that have started because of cold turkey and have gone exceptionally well. But if you have the option, it should be planned, it should be transitioned, and it should be dated. Because other people, the mistake they make is they start opening up their business and doing side work, and they want to keep their job, and they kind of love the both incomes, and they're scared to cut one off. Set a date. Like, this is the date I'm exiting. Leading up to that date, I'm going to be doing this for the transition. I'm going to be selling this much. I'm going to have this much in reserve. I'm going to set up this marketing campaign. I have whatever staff I need set up. And this day, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. That's the best way to do it. If you just say, I'm going to run this and I'm going to keep working there and on whatever, you're just going to have 2 jobs at the end of the day. That's it. I just realized this now. I never had a full-time job. I literally just realized I never had a full-time job. I never worked for someone 40 hours a week before in my life. That's weird. I just realized that now. I had a part-time job in college while I was doing real estate. But holy shit. I don't know why I never realized that until that question was asked. But yes, I've never had a full-time job. I've only been self-employed. I had a part-time job in college. That's the last time I was collecting purely a salary for my efforts and time. What's the best way to build a strong professional relationship? Understand that the reason why your friends like you and your parents like you is not the same reason why people in business will like you. It's called purposeful relationships. It's okay. Don't take it personally. Don't get upset. Some people will befriend you or be close to you because it's in their interest, which means that they net either attention from it, they net money from it, they net knowledge from it. These things are transferred all the time in business. So what you need to understand is two things. What is the purposeful relationship? Everyone should get respect and integrity and empathy from you. But relationships that are connected usually have purposes connected to them. So identify a few things. Why do I have a relationship with them? What is my benefit? Do they offer a way for me to make more money? Do they offer me a way to collaborate more? Or can I learn from them? These are the three things in business you should focus on. If it's all three, you got yourself a home run. The second thing, which is even more important, is why are they friends with you, and make sure you're delivering that exchange. Because if you think you're just going to go find a mentor and ask them shit all day in exchange for nothing, it doesn't make sense. That's why coaching existed, by the way. There's people that would coach for free if the person coming and asking them for advice wanted advice. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, if Elon Musk probably called you and said, hey, I want to know what you do. Would you mind meeting with me? I think it'd be silly to try and charge him versus just actually building that relationship, because you could learn a lot from him too. Most of the time, people are going up to people and saying, hey, I just want information, which is going to take a lot of your time so I can grow and make myself money. Okay, that's fine, but then you'd have to pay for that time to create an exchange. If you're looking for mentorship, you need to figure out, or these purposeful relationships, you have to figure out, what do you bring to the table? Do they make more money because of you? Do they get more knowledge because of you? Are you solving a problem for them? So if you can always identify what you're getting out of it and what you're giving in exchange, then do that. If you can't figure out an exchange, then figure out a way to monetarily exchange with them. But that's how you build relationships in business. There has to be a benefit of some sort. But the one thing I will say, never, ever, ever think someone's worthless. Because I've worked with a lot of people that when they came to me, they wanted to talk or collaborate, and I gave them the time. And when they came to me, they had nothing, they did nothing, and I always treated them with respect and gratitude. And then when they became bigger, they became clients and friends and sometimes investors and things. So don't knock someone just because they can't be helpful to you today. That's the biggest lesson. You have to always understand that what is the play, not today, not how much money, or what can I get out of them today. It's what can I get out of this for the rest of my career, for the rest of my life. And you'll find that more people are more useful than you think. And make sure that you hang around people that look at life the same way. You'll get a lot further, a lot faster. Should you lend money to family or close friends? Oof. Only if you're willing to let it go. So the problem is that usually when a friend asks a friend to borrow money or family asks family to borrow money, usually the person who's lending the money needs the money just as bad as the person who's borrowing it, which means you cannot afford for this not to work. It's going to create resentment most likely. So I would refrain from lending money that you truly cannot afford not to get paid back. Now, should that person pay you back? Of course. But at the same time, you shouldn't be put in a position where you're going to hate them or put yourself in trouble. So, there's discretionary times. There's no universal hard no or hard yes. I feel like anyone that answers that way, like never or always, I think both of those are wrong answers. I think they have to be case by case. Well, is the person good? Are you investing in them? Are they going to do right by you? Will they pay it back? Will they make it right at some point? Something. So that's what I would do, is like, use your discretion. Don't use your emotion. Obviously, there is love connected to these loans usually, but I would never lend money in general that you need, that you can't afford not to get paid back. I think that's a bad idea unless someone's about to die if you don't give it to them. But then again, if someone has like loan sharks or someone about to die that if you don't give it to them, maybe you should reevaluate who you're friends with too. I had a friend of mine that was getting into a lot of trouble, and we were very young, like teenage years or early 20s, something like that, late teens, early 20s. And he was calling me to like pick him up at night because like he was smashed or wasted. And then, me, I was always worried that if I told him no and I found out tomorrow he's dead because like he decided to drive or killed someone else, I'd feel responsible. So every single time he would call, I would go pick him up no matter what, because I didn't want that on my conscience. But it was really getting out of control, and he was getting out of control. One day he asked me to borrow a couple $100 because he needed it. I knew that he was never going to pay me back. I also knew he was going to avoid the shit out of me because he owed me money. So I gave him the money, knowing that not only would I not get paid back, but more importantly, he probably stopped calling me. And at that time where he was at in his life, it was the right decision. It helped them out, but it also really helped me out, set me free. So um, it's much better than telling someone screw you. It's kind of like allowing it to dissolve. So I wouldn't make that a strategy. If I was writing a book on friendship, that probably wouldn't be in it. But sometimes the best way to get rid of someone in your life is to lend them money because they'll avoid you if they don't want to pay you back. If these videos give value to at least one person, I'm very happy. When someone finds something that works for them and it changes their trajectory of their life, it's life changing. It's something that really is a big deal because I've experienced that myself. I've been on the end of it. So I don't do this because like I want to get attention. I do this because I really want to just help as many people as I can and collaborate with as many people as I can. And the ultimate legacy is, I hope that I impact enough people one day that one day when I die, my kids can go anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world and they'll be like, I know your dad, and they feel like they can live their own world. We got to make our own world sometimes. So I want to just find like-minded people that think similarly, that just want to do well, be happy and be healthy and just do the right thing or try their best to at least. And this is the best way to build that community. Hey, so if you have any questions that you want me to answer, leave it in the comments. We pick the best ones and we try and answer it to the best of my ability. I don't claim to know everything, but what I do like to do is just talk and connect with everyone out there. So if you want to connect, the best way to do it is make sure you follow, you like, subscribe, and also leave a comment and I'll answer that question on the next shoot.